Welcome to FUT-IQ. I'm Diego, and today's podcast is about is FIFA ruining football? And I mean, this is insane. FIFA's trying to bring private investors into the commercial side of its biggest competition. So UEFA and other football organizations are strongly against it. And one of Infantino's senior advisor resigned over the proposal. And so the biggest question is FIFA trying to grow football, or are they trying to make football into a business? And let's get this, straight. What is FIFA trying to do, right? FIFA wants to create a new commercial company in a sense. Private investors could put billions of dollars into it, and investors could get or would get a stake in the commercial business, not direct control of any matches, right? But FIFA is saying the goal is to generate more money, and to having more money for football, they could develop it in a better way, or the best way possible. And they could say they're saying that they eventually can create a 10+ billion additional development funding, right? And so the question is, okay, more money sounds good. Of course, it's always great to have more money and develop or have it to make something bigger and better, right? But where does the line get crossed here, right? Why does FIFA want investors? So obviously, and makes sense for FIFA, their argument is more money equals more investment in football, and smaller countries get more of a funding than they have right now. And obviously with that comes better youth academies for these smaller countries, and better stadiums and better training facilities for all around. And obviously that benefits the smaller countries, and more grassroots programs and more opportunities for developing football nations, like I've said, and not just normal powerhouses, but other countries to have opportunity to grow and compete, right? But if investors are putting billions into football, what are they getting back necessarily, right? That's like the biggest question here. And this is, talking about billions, so of course, I gotta be somewhat fancy with my tie, like I am right now. But so this is kind of tricky right here, because investors are doing it just because they love football, or do they want money in return? And let's be honest here, if you have billions, if you have money like that, I don't know if all of these folks are into football the way we are, or the way I am, or the way most of you guys are. And this is really problematic towards fans, especially, and obviously footballers, but fans. And I'm very glad, and I'm not here to say UEFA is an angel, and they don't have any mistakes in their sleeves, and they do. But right now, at least, they are the ones standing up and saying that they are upset, and that they're mad, and that they don't agree. And it's probably the biggest problem or crazy thing that's going on right now after the World Cup. And UEFA and European associations, about 55, have rejected the proposal. And their concerns are that they don't trust the structure. They don't think that the process hasn't been transparent enough, and they don't want private money getting involved in football's biggest competition, that being the World Cup, obviously. And they are worried about FIFA becoming too powerful, because as of now, it's just a non-profit organization, but they're trying to make it into a business. And the biggest concern or question could be, could FIFA eventually prioritize money over football? And that's the biggest concern, because football is not about money. Football is about unity. Football is about love and competing in the beautiful sport that is football. And it's not football isn't for the rich, it's for the people, it's for the person that lives in Nicaragua, it's for the person that lives in Mexico, it's for the person that lives in Spain, for the person that lives in England, for everybody in the world. And it should not be manipulated, or money should not do the talking. And sadly, we live in a life, or in a world, that is in that way. And now more than ever, I've noticed and see now, growing up and learning about life, politics, whether you like it or not, have a big effect in your life, and it can be negative and positive. And whether we like it or not, in a way, it is involved with almost and with everything in life. And it's very interesting to see where this goes. It's very concerning. So, for example, if the investors want more games because that equals more money, are they gonna want more money? Are they gonna change the tournament? Are they gonna, like, what? Where does this all connects? Like, money means a lot, and so it's like, let's add more games, FIFA would say, because that means more money for them as well. So it is very complicated when they're already complaining about the games they have, right? So that would affect the players. And well, the craziest part is that, UEFA has warned about a potential to refuse to participate in FIFA competitions. Think about that. Just think about that. Just even the warning is already insane. And the protests, like having Spain that just won the World Cup, France, that, they're a big powerhouse, obviously. And let's not even forget about England, Germany. I don't even have to name them all. Italy, that haven't even qualified. And they've been in a protest for the last 12 years. So proud of them. They've stood up for 12 years for not qualifying for the World Cup. But that's just because they have been terrible. And that's a whole other conversation, that situation with the federation, the Italian federation. And that's a whole different topic that we could get into. So comment down below if you guys want to know about that and what our opinion is, and go into a deeper analysis about that situation. But now, having these countries not participating in FIFA competition would be absolutely insane. And can FIFA even have a World Cup with the Europeans' biggest countries? Obviously, but that would completely change football. And now, let's talk about the one and only Infantino, who, this guy, I don't know, he's kind of creepy. I'm no disrespect, but he kind of scares me with his looks, with them bug eyes. But he seems funny, he seems interesting. I don't know the guy, of course, and it's just, let's hear him out, right? His argument, before I start, or I already did this, before I even keep on jabbing onto him, which doesn't even matter. But okay, his possible argument is for him that he's trying to make FIFA into more of a financial, stronger organization, and he's trying to develop football outside of Europe, and he's trying to give smaller countries more money, and he's trying to make FIFA less dependent on the traditional revenue. And I don't know why. I think they have been very successful with the revenue, and I can't even talk. And it's just like, okay, we get the idea, we get that you're trying to have a positive impact for football, but the possible argument against him is, could FIFA become too commercial focused, which I think they have, and they definitely showed this World Cup, which is absolutely frustrating. And we're already, in the Hispanic community at least, we're already complaining about that before the World Cup with the Mexican friendlies, and even before that with ads every 30 seconds, and we go to this, blah, 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 blah. Bro, let me watch football. I'm already saturated from the whole day of work, or I'm already tired of the yapping, of the nonsense of some people in my life, or whatever, whatever the case may be for you. But the fact that, why are they so commercial focused? Why are they so money focused? And too much power could also be, kind of complicated to manage at the top, and private investors could, potentially gain an influence within the World Cup or whatever competition that they may be having, because the more money they put in, they're going to want some results, or they're going to want some more games, or whatever. They can switch and move things around where maybe it's not the best thing for football, and decisions could eventually be driven just by money, and that's what we're basically talking about, and that's not correct. We shouldn't be money driven when it comes to competition of a sport, in a sense, but sadly so. Football and sports are business, or just a business for some people, and they're not necessarily fans or necessarily want to see the sport succeed, but they want their pockets to have more cheddar. But with that being said, is Infantino trying to save football's future, or control more of it? I think it looks like he's trying to make money, and why? I don't know why. It's a non-profit organization in Switzerland, if I'm not mistaken. So the resignation of all this is basically having his advisor step down. Carlos Gordillo, a senior advisor of Infantino, resigned. And why does that matter? Is because it's just more than just UEFA versus FIFA. Is someone inside of Infantino's own circle has reported and has serious concerns about this. So it's like, why don't you hear it out? Why don't you think about another solution that isn't becoming a business, isn't just money oriented, right? And it's just when someone that's close to FIFA's leadership walks away over a plan, maybe you should ask what's really going on behind the scenes. What's going on behind those walls, what conversations that they're having. Money is not just a little money, it's a big money that I maybe will never have in my life. But it's just insane that FIFA's biggest defense is that maybe we shouldn't look at them so evil, right? The argument is maybe not trying to sell the World Cup, but maybe trying to keep more control of football. Investors are investing in the commercial side. You can think of just that, and maybe they'll keep it that way, just the commercial side, and more money goes into football, and developing countries may benefit, and everyone ultimately gets more resources, right? That's the brighter side. But do we honestly think that's going to happen? I highly doubt it. And I honestly understand, and there is an argument in a sense, but there's a big problem, is who's going to benefit the most? Is it going to be FIFA with them gaining more money and earning more money? Or is it going to be the investors? Or is it the football associations? Will they even receive that money that FIFA may collect and may actually receive, but will they send it to the federations of the small countries, right? Will they actually do that? Will there be someone that will be able to, verify that so much money came to Cameroon, so much money went to South Korea, so much money went to whatever, you name it. Does it actually get there? Does it actually proceed to creating those facilities, to creating those stadiums, to creating that development for the youth that actually is helpful for that country, and not exporting foreign players to your own leagues because you want more money? I don't know, man. It's just very interesting to see that. Who is it going to benefit? The players? More games? Are they going to add more games into the schedule and more competitions, more tournaments? Are they going to make it more repetitive and not spread out as it has been for every 4 years? Maybe make it every year, just like they do in the U.S. Leagues and tournaments. And are the countries developing as they say they are? Because the real question is, if FIFA are making billions, where is it going to go? Where is it going to go? Is it really going to come to the people that they say it'll go to? So I just think that FIFA definitely needs to help football in the best way, and definitely do the more money and the more development, and definitely more opportunities and more investment outside of Europe. But who knows what will happen throughout the years, throughout the situation that's just been going on, and we'll we'll see if the investors want more profit or, want to just destroy football. And I personally don't think that bringing money into football is automatically a bad thing, but football needs more investment. Of course it does. It definitely needs it. But when you're talking about the World Cup, you guys should be definitely extremely careful, because the World Cup isn't just another business. It's not another way to make money. It's something that belongs to the entire world of football, and it's something special and unique. So I think that if Infantino actually wants to do the right thing, he could do something different. But that being said, is maybe keeping it as a non-profit. I wouldn't maybe bring in private investors into FIFA at all. Maybe no private equity, no shareholders expecting returns, no investors getting a stake into FIFA's commercial business. And the difference is just where the money goes right now and where it has been going. And maybe create a global football development fund. And this is probably a great idea that they could have. And every 4 years, FIFA can take a determined percentage of its World Cup revenue and put it into a fund that is for development. And so basically it's to develop and have maybe a fixed percentage that could go into that revenue and create what they want to do, right? And create a system where funding is guaranteed before the money is even spent somewhere else. So don't just give countries cash. It's more important if the federation gets 50 million, let's say. Here you go, do whatever you want. No. You could have corruption, waste, or bad management. It's just not the right idea, not the right movement. So let's say, for example, if Mexico wants youth academies, you want the whatever, training facilities and whatsoever, actually complete those projects, not just send money and say we send it and you guys go solve it and you guys go do it. It's your money. You guys go, have them, have the basis and make sure that they actually invest in training centers and grass fields and all the aspects that they want to, whether it's medical facilities, youth academies, equipment, whatever, and invest in the kids, invest in people of those nations, right? And have programs, have trainers, have all those things, create a system that actually works instead of having private investors. And I don't know, I think there could be a better idea, and I think that FIFA should show exactly where the money goes and should be very transparent, since they're a non-profit organization, and develop the youth, the academies, and be transparent with the billions of dollars that they get, and show that they actually want to develop and help and grow the countries that are in need or trying to develop. So with that being said, hopefully they can come to a resolution and change the situation. Now it's obvious that FIFA has done mistakes in the past, and they're maybe making a mistake right now, and hopefully they can redirect and solve this in the best way possible. And I'm not saying I'm against FIFA making money, but I'm against the idea of FIFA needing to sell parts of football, football's future, to private investors to accomplish something that isn't about football. It should be about how it should be funded in other ways as a non-profit organization, and hopefully football doesn't go away or isn't ruined by private investors and just money. But comment down below, what do you guys think, or what solutions could FIFA have? And subscribe, follow us on our social media platforms. Stay tuned for our next video, and we'll see you guys next time.